palace is the home to the three supreme powers: the executive power, the legislative power, and the judicial power. It is the only building in the world that houses all three of a country's branches of government. The name Christiansborg is thus also frequently used as a metronym for the Danish political system, and colloquially it is often referred to as Riksborgen or simply Borgen. The present building, the third with this name, is the last in a series of successive castles and palaces constructed on the same site since the erection of the first castle in 1167. Since the early 15th centuries, the various buildings have served as the base of the central administration until 1794, as the principal residence for the Danish kings, and after 1849 as the seat of parliament. The palace today bears witness to three eras of Danish architecture as a result of two serious fires. The first fire occurred in 1794 and the second in 1884. The main part of the current palace, finished in 1928, is in the historic non-Baroque style. The chapel dates to 1826 and is in the neoclassical style. The showgrounds were built in 1738 to 46 in a Baroque style. Christiansborg Palace is owned by the Danish state and is run by the Palaces and Properties Agencies. Several parts of the palaces are open to the public. King Christian VI commissioned architect Elias David Hauser to build the first Christiansborg Palace, and in 1733 work started on a magnificent Baroque palace. By 1738, work on the main palace had progressed so far that it was possible to start on the other buildings, including the total project. The palace included showgrounds and chapel. Most of the palace complex was completed in 1745 and was the largest palace in Europe at that time. The palace and church were ruined by a fire in 1794, but the showgrounds were saved. While the royal family lived in temporary accommodations at Amalborg Palace, the master builder of Etona, architect Christian Frederick Hansen, was called to Copenhagen to resurrect the palace. Hansen started building the second Christiansborg in 1803 in a French Empire style. The palace is roughly divided in the middle, with the parliament located in the southern wing and the royal reception rooms, Supreme Court and Prime Minister's office in the northern wing.
Colors in these tapestries, they were woven in Paris and outside Paris in two different factories there, the Gobelin and the Beauvais. If there's something is woven in Gobelin, it's a town or part of Paris, then it's a Gobelin, and you refer to it as a Gobelin. And the other one is called a tapestry. Some of them are woven up, like you start down below and you go up on it. And the other one, fill in with your own imagination. So what has happened since these were up? You know, a lot of stuff in history. The royal family is here. The girl in the pink or salmon-colored dress is our current queen. And these are her two younger sisters and her parents, Queen Ingrid and King Frederick. So there they are. It takes between 2 or 3 days to set it all up with candles, the best of everything, the best glassware, the best. You can, if you want to, after I'm finished here, just have a quick look at that picture over there and you can see what it would be set up. There are different variations, sometimes long tables, sometimes round tables. And it takes a very short while to take it all down when the party is over. Nothing is cooked here. They have the kitchens in where we had the dining, remember the big dining table we saw? They bring up ovens and refrigerators and portable stuff. And then they usually have something that always they can prepare in advance. You can't cook for 400 people last minute. So it's like... I wasn't too pleased with how she looks. She has pen and paper in her hand. She's very, very artistic. She's, tempting him. It's supposed to be the Garden of Eden. But what it represents is all the freshwater fish and saltwater fish, all the minerals that we have in the ground here in Denmark and Faroe Islands and also Greenland, and also the wild animals that we have in the forest. That's what it represents. The high forehead is indicating a good mind, very smart, brains. So, and there he's just standing with his hat in his hand. It was really beautifully in place, and they shopped around and got the best deal in their country.
Indian carpets.
So, but this is also where the royal family, they will stand right here, and everybody that was invited to this party dinner there would come in. Settee, is that an Indian word? Yeah. Means sofa? So the English always refer to it as a settee. Yes. A couch, the Americans call it. Couch potatoes, some people that never get off the settee. So the elderly couple are King Christian the Ninth and his wife Louise. They had 6 children. They had 3 girls and 3 boys. The oldest girl married Edward, who became Edward VII of England. He was the oldest son of Queen Victoria. He's sitting over here. He did not like much coming to Denmark, and he certainly didn't have the patience or desire to sit for a king. So supposedly he sent his uniform. And somebody sat in it, and then they probably said, okay, let's make a quick drawing of your face. And this is his wife back there, Alexandra. So she was, they were king and queen of emperor and empress of India. So she came from, the Danish little family here, royal family, and became empress of India. That was grand, and the queen of England. And this is their oldest son, Eddie. He passed away. He never did become king. Another one did. The next daughter, in pink, standing with a little girl, is not her girl. She is not married at the time. Her name is Julia. But they really need an ambassador. And it starts here. You come into this room. In the past, the queen's husband would sit out there with them and just chat, because he's an easy guy to get along with. Just talk, and sort of you'd be nervous when you go in and give your papers to the queen. So you go in and you talk standing up and talk for a little while. And in the old days, you could not turn your back on the monarch. So
the second Christiansborg burned down in 1884. Saved were the showgrounds and Hansen's chapel. Thorvald Jorgensen won an architecture competition to decide who would design the third Christiansborg, which was built from 1907 to 1928. The palace was to contain premises for the royal family, the legislature, and the judiciary, and was built in neo-baroque style in reinforced concrete with granite-covered facades. Fragments from C.F. Hansen's palace were preserved In the north facade facing Prince George's Yard, the original roof was tilted, but after a national collection, the tiles were replaced with copper in 1937 and 1938. A weather vane with two crowns was later added to the tower, and at 106 meters became the tallest tower in the city. During the digging work, they came across the ruins of Absalon's castle and Copenhagen castle. It was decided to make them publicly accessible, and the ruins under the current palace and the historical exhibition opened to the public in 1924.